Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. So it is finally out. If you've clicked on this video, then I'm hoping that you've already seen Battle at Big Rock. If not, do yourself a favor, go check it out, and come back to this video after you're done, because I'm about to give my thoughts on the first ever official live-action short film in the Jurassic Park franchise. And yes, there will be spoilers ahead, so you've been warned, I'm not going to say it again. Okay, now, brief summary of how I felt. I liked it. In fact, I gotta say I really liked it. I didn't like everything, but I think for the most part, this is something that a lot of people will appreciate. And it opens up the door to Jurassic World 3 in a really cool and fun way. So first things first, let's talk about my predictions. While not all of them came true, I was kind of happy to see that a good 4 of the 6 things that I had imagined to go down in the short actually happened. Allosaurus animatronic was a thing, Nasutoceratops baby was a thing, people looking at the dinosaurs in awe happened briefly, and the camper flipped over. That one may have been super obvious, but I got it right. No Dr. Wu was kind of surprising to me though. I wonder who they were talking about when they said the short film had a character from the Jurassic World movies. I guess that was fake news or something. Oh, and the Allosaurus didn't die, so yeah, I was way off on that as well. Speaking of the Allosaurus, holy hell man, that thing looked infinitely superior to the design that we saw in Fallen Kingdom. I've gone on record to say that the Allo in the 5th film is one of my least favorite dinosaur designs in like the whole series. But looking at that thing as an adult, I definitely can't say that anymore. That thing was apex AF. I loved it, and I think we finally have a good Allosaurus design for the films. One thing I will say about it though is, you can't really tell that it's an animatronic. I don't know why that's something I feel like I need to say, but it could be because it looked really good and the movement during the attack on the camper was handled really well, with the actors looking where they should and getting the tension built up and all of that stuff, you know, it was great. But I feel like there might have been some CGI augmentation done to the dinosaur, which is fine, I'm not knocking it. In fact, I'm starting to feel like that's absolutely positive. The whole goal is to make it look as realistic as it can be at the end of the day, and I guess I'm realizing if I can tell something isn't animatronic, doesn't that mean it didn't do its job? I mean, that's the whole criticism with CG, right? You can tell how they did it. So if I can't tell that was the animatronic for sure, and they did end up augmenting it with some CGI, I mean, I guess that's a good job. But if you are someone who is totally only interested in seeing a practical effect that looks like a practical effect completely, you might be disappointed by that. Speaking of disappointed, I gotta be real with you guys and say that the fight in general was rather underwhelming for me. I mean, it was cool, and there was a lot of good fun to be had in like the 30 seconds of actual fight that they gave us. But at the end of the day, I guess I was expecting it to be longer in terms of an actual fight, I mean. But apart from that, the contents of the fight itself were really interesting. The reveal of the Nasutoceratops and its baby playing with the flashlight at the campsite were really cool. Loved the opening credits with the T-Rex as the continents. I've been waiting for that. The whole world with the T-Rex is like a Pangea, that's great. And they played a riff on the original Jurassic Park's music's opening, and the radio signals giving cryptic hints about dinosaur sightings happening everywhere, and the Nasuto being the first dinosaur born on US soil. That was all really neat. I was really interested in how they were implementing this stuff. Oh, and the reveal of the male Nasutoceratops that stepped up to the Allosaurus and kind of got him to back down was great too. That was incredibly animalistic and really something that I feel like could have been pulled straight out of the Lost World as far as tone goes. And tone itself should be talked about as well. This was a pretty intense and far more suspenseful short film than honestly what I had expected. After Fallen Kingdom got a lot of flack, I was afraid they would do what Jurassic Park 3 did when Lost World got a similar treatment and kind of family film Hallmark it up, you know, and make it really brighter and less dark. But no, I gotta hand it to Colin Trevorrow. He gave me something that was far different from that. I was into the suspense with the baby, man. I mean, you know he's not gonna get killed because it's Jurassic Park, and I even thought about that Compy scene from the book and how brutal it would be if they had that dino chomp the little boy, but that would have gotten them into too much trouble with the parents. I can already see the angry picket signs and movie activism in full force over that. Stupid, I know, but it's like, how dare this film kill a Brachiosaurus? You know, that sort of thing. Directing wise, I think it was done very well. I think everything from the way the actors reacted, the way the dinosaurs fought each other, the general cinematography, the choreography with the action scenes involving the camper, all of that I gotta really say was really good. In fact, Watching it after Jurassic World really sold me on the fact that Trevorrow is really good at doing dinosaurs at night. I think this short film is where you can see his style really shine as far as those dinosaurs go, and it's probably one of the most memorable set pieces of the franchise, if I'm being honest. The only thing I can personally pinpoint and say that I really wasn't a fan of was the incorporation of the crossbow. They set it up and it does get paid off, but you know, it's just one of those things that I unfortunately think doesn't work outside of the first film. And I'll explain what I mean by that here at the end, but personally, that whole kid attacking the dinosaur thing didn't land as well as I think it ever could. Again, I'll explain this later, and it's not a big negative thing. I don't want it to be spun like that. I just have some thoughts on the whole franchise doing similar things in regards to how we perceive them as an audience. Oh, and we gotta talk about that ending. That was absolutely incredible. The whole incorporation of dinosaur sightings in the mainland with the Compies and the Parasaurolophus and the Stegosaurus attacking the car, and man, the Mosasaurus killing that shark after it killed the seal. Oh, that was just awesome. I loved every second of that. I have been waiting for them to do this story of dinosaurs in the mainland since The Lost World. I'm gonna be totally real with you guys. I just don't like the islands. I don't ever want to go back to the islands. I agree with the criticism that it's convoluted and nonsensical to force the characters to go back there when they know it's a bad idea. I'm just over it. I was over it when I saw that they had to make Ned Flanders kidnap Dr. Grant in order for him to be on Sorna. I think it's stupid. I don't like it. I'm done with it. It doesn't push the story forward whatsoever, and at that point, it's just Anaconda or Lake Placid if they do it again. I am all in on dinosaurs in the civilized world, and I wish that Spielberg had stuck with that plan for Jurassic Park 3, and that he hadn't have listened to the amount of hatred that Lost World's San Diego sequence got, but he did, and they got scared, and they backed off of that idea, and I think that really hurt the original trilogy. But they're going all in Jurassic World 3, and man, I am 100% ready for it. I'm ready for something new, and something that doesn't have to force characters to be in a place that they don't want to be, and something that ties up all the warnings that Ian Malcolm gave us in the first movie. I want an ending, and I want it to be original, and for it to bring all 6 movies full circle. So yeah, Battle at Big Rock, long story short, I liked it. I think personally, if I had to rank it, it would be an 8 out of 10 or a 4 out of 5 or something like that. Very satisfied with what it delivered, and even more satisfied for what it's promising. Honestly, I am a big fan of Colin Trevorrow. I love what he's done with these movies, and I think he's really given us something that pushes the story forward and brought it away from the same trappings that it's found itself in for many years now. I've been a massive fan of The Lost World since day one. I love that movie. I love it warts and all. Roland Tembo is my favorite character by far, and I'm happy to hear its awesome theme music in this short film and hear it in all of its incredible glory. Really, I had an absolute blast. I'd say that it probably isn't as good as any of the feature films. Okay, maybe it's technically better than Jurassic Park 3. I know Tony's gonna get upset for me saying that if he's watching this out there. I actually plan to have Tony on someday because he loves that movie so much and he really doesn't like The Lost World. And I really like The Lost World, but I'm not the biggest fan of JP3, so that should be fun. He's great, by the way. If you don't know him, he works with James Rolfe on Cinemassacre all the time and does his Hack the Movies skits, which are hilarious in the ways that they make fun of literally everybody, so shout out to him. And Colin Trevorrow, if you're listening to this, I know you interact with the fans a lot, and I'm a fan. I'm down for an interview anytime, man. I'd love to get you on the channel and talk about Jurassic Park. And I know you love The Lost World too, so I'd ask you questions that have nothing to do with JP1 that I think a lot of fans would appreciate. So yeah, just saying, I think it would be cool. But yeah, guys, I really enjoyed Battle at Big Rock. I think it's doing a lot of cool things, and I think it sets up a really cool finale to the trilogy. Just one more thing that I want to mention before I go, and that's the crossbow scene. If you go back to The Lost World, a movie that I've gone on record and said I've loved forever, I still got to admit that the gymnastics stuff is just straight up dumb. And really, I don't think that's anybody's fault. Now hear me out here. I'm not saying the crossbow is as bad as the gymnastics. It's nowhere near as bad as that gymnastics scene to me. But I think that the original Jurassic Park executed that Brachiosaurus scene so perfectly, and at such an incredible moment in the film's runtime, and at an incredible moment in film history in general, that it immediately sells you on that world's reality, no questions asked. When we see Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler react to the dinosaur, that was also us as an audience reacting to this groundbreaking technology that we're seeing on display in the film. The level of verisimilitude is so perfect there that they could do anything they wanted later on and you'd totally buy it. They could have a 10-year-old boy get shocked with 10,000 volts off of an electric fence and fall perfectly into Alan Grant's hands, and it's okay. They could drop a car on top of 2 people and have them miraculously end up underneath the destroyed roof and they're totally unscathed. They could do it again with the rib cage of a dinosaur skeleton and the boy is protected by the plot and gets away without a scratch. They could make Grant holding onto a thick piece of wire with a small girl choking him while she clings to his neck, and we don't even think about how that stuff would shred his hands and leave them in a bloody pulp while he's scaling the concrete moat. Or let alone that he would even wind up at the bottom without slipping off due to all of the rain. My point is, in retrospect, I don't really think that raptor gymnastics, much less a little girl shooting a dinosaur with a crossbow, is really that egregious as far as the Jurassic Park universe goes. But in our minds, since we've seen that groundbreaking effect, and since it's sold us on the realism of this world so early on, we think it's like super realistic, when in reality, it's kind of more like Indiana Jones physics. But you can't pull that trick off after the first movie. You already believe the dinosaurs are real, but it's the worlds in the sequels that have honestly followed the reality of the first film pretty closely, but they still don't feel as real because they came after that movie. I hope that makes some sense here and you understand what I'm saying. Bottom line is, I don't blame Big Rock for me not totally believing in that crossbow stuff. I mean, it's nowhere near as unbelievable as the gymnastics or the talking raptor dream or anything like that. It's just something that I'm becoming more aware of as I watch these films over and over again. And for younger audiences, eventually they're not going to see that Brachiosaurus and think the same way we did as kids. Through their eyes, it's going to be a totally different perception of what's going on, and I think it's important to recognize that. At least it is for myself. But yeah, I like Battle at Big Rock, and I'm curious to know what all of you guys think about it. What did you like about the short film? What didn't you like about the short film? And what are you expecting in Jurassic World 3? Whatever your thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. It really means the world to me that all of you guys enjoy what I do so much, and I'm extremely thankful to have all of your incredible support. Now I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. See you all in the next one, guys, and as always, take it easy.